I am a huge fan of 3F, the Chinese ultralight gear manufacturer. I have their X-Pack backpack, the rain kilt, and the Lanshan 1 tent, which I've been using as my main tent for the past 3 years. I find 3F's gear to be well made, affordable, and offering great value for money, making them easy to recommend as ideal budget ultralight options. 3F's new Lanshan 1 Pro tent caught my interest because it's meant to be an upgrade over my trusty Lanshan 1, and I wanted to see the differences between the two tents and to see if it really was an upgrade. I'll be using the Lanshan 1 Pro and testing it out in the field when we're allowed to go outside again, but for now, here's my initial impressions of the Lanshan 1 Pro and how does it compare to the Lanshan 1. I believe honesty is the best policy, so full disclosure, this tent was sent to me free of charge by 3F for a review. However, all the opinions on the tent are my own, and 3F has no editorial rights over this video or future videos. In fact, 3F has seen this video for the first time live on YouTube the same time as you guys are. The 3F Lanshan 1 Pro is a lighter tent than the 3F Lanshan 1. I measured my Lanshan 1 Pro after seam sealing, and the tent with the dry bag that comes with it weighs in at 744 grams. The dry bag weighs 41 grams, which means the tent by itself weighs 703 grams. The 9 mini groundhog-like stakes weighs 96 grams altogether, and the stuff sack weighs 7 grams. The 3 additional guylines that can be attached to the pull-out points on the sidewalls weighs 17 grams together. In total, with all 9 pegs and 3 additional guylines, the Lanshan 1 Pro weighs 865 grams, which is 70 grams lighter than the Lanshan 1. The Lanshan 1 Pro also comes with a couple of pieces of material for repairs, although these are only meant for the bathtub floor and not for repairing the fly sheet. Pitching the tent is familiar because it's exactly the same as pitching the Lanshan 1. I picked up a useful tip from 3F's videos. If you set the pole at 125 centimeters and lay it down, it can be used as a guide for where to place the first 2 corner pegs. Just like pitching the Lanshan 1, I pegged the tent out with the loops from the fly sheet and from the bathtub. Then I'll insert the trekking pole, which is set at 125 centimeters, before hooking the door up to the guy lines and pegging that out. And if necessary, I'll go around the tent to readjust the pegs and the tension until the tent is fully taut. One massive difference that I noticed straight away was how much bigger the inside space was. If you've seen my videos on the Lanshan 1, you'll know that I think the Lanshan 1 is a great budget ultralight tent if you're not taller than me, so around 5'11" or 180 centimeters. With the original Lanshan 1 lying on a air mat, my hair or my feet would normally brush against the inner netting, but this doesn't happen with the Lanshan 1 Pro. I immediately noticed how much more usable space there was inside, especially lengthwise. There's definitely more room for taller people. At a guess, it'll be suitable for people who are about 185 centimeters or 6'1" at the very least, as well as much more room to store your gear inside the tent. I'm really pleased that 3F has managed to make the tent more suitable for taller people by doing away with the inner netting and making the tent single layered, so well done to 3F. There are also many subtle upgrades throughout the tent that makes the Lanshan 1 Pro seem better designed and better made. The ropes used in the corner feel sturdier and more quality. Not that the ones on Lanshan 1 are bad, they just feel better on the Lanshan 1 Pro. The zip also feels smoother, and it's definitely a YKK zip this time round, complete with the branding. The elastic hoops that you put the toggle through to pin the inner and the fly sheet for the doors on the Lanshan 1 Pro holds it much easier. The ventilation gap at the top also appears to be more open, with a more solid reinforced band. Generally, the 3F Lanshan 1 Pro is much more refined than the original Lanshan 1, with 3F having made little upgrades that makes the tent nicer to use. Even though these little things on my original Lanshan 1 didn't really bother me before, I did notice the changes straight away, and it made me wish that my original Lanshan 1 did have these features and upgrades. Another change is that with the Lanshan 1 Pro, you now have to seam seal the tent yourself, whereas with the original Lanshan 1, it was mostly seam sealed straight out of the factory. My understanding is that this is because the Lanshan 1 Pro has been upgraded to double-sided seal nylon over the single-sided seal nylon of the original Lanshan 1, which means that 3F can no longer tape the underside of the tent at the factory. 3F includes a syringe to help you apply the seam sealer, but they don't include the actual seam sealer itself. I used some seal net by Magnet to seal mine, but there are many other seam sealers that you can use that's suitable for seal nylon. You need to apply the seam sealer to the 4 major seams that run down the tent from the center point, and I would seam seal the pull-out points as well. It's not hard to do. I don't have very steady hands, and I managed to do it on a pretty windy day, but it does take some time to apply and dry. I found that running a hand under the tent where I'm applying the sealer makes it a lot easier. My biggest concern with the 3F Lanshan 1 Pro is that it's now a single layer tent, whereas the original Lanshan 1 was a double layer tent. From using the Lanshan 1 extensively over the past 3 years in the UK, its biggest downside is the condensation building up inside the tent. It doesn't let the rain in, but the Lanshan also doesn't let the moisture out easily. I live in the UK, and I bought the Lanshan 1 originally with its double layers to help combat the condensation. I've not been able to take the Lanshan 1 Pro out yet because of lockdown, but I'll be keen to see if the single layer is any noticeably worse in the British climate. Overall, my impressions of the Lanshan 1 Pro are so far quite positive. 3F has managed to increase the amount of usable space inside, which is great news for taller people. The little subtle upgrades are also nice to have. Although none of them are crucial or necessary changes that I must have over the Lanshan 1, it makes the Lanshan 1 Pro seem like a more refined tent and a better product. It's a shame that you now need to spend some time seam sealing the tent before it's ready to use, and the Lanshan 1 Pro is now a single layer tent, but I'm cautiously optimistic about how it will deal with condensation in the UK. If you're interested in buying the 3F Lanshan 1 Pro or for 3F's official store, I've left links to both of those in the description below. As for myself, I'll be switching over to the Lanshan 1 Pro in my future backpacking trips to see how it holds up. If you want to see the Lanshan 1 Pro in action or a full review after I spend some more time with it, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please leave a comment down in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. As always, thank you all for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.